Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafts by the Bow and project number 9 for our 12 days of Christmas, or 12 days of crafting, I beg your pardon, advent calendar. And today I'm making another type of flap card. This card that I made last time, we're using the same kind of cutting technique. So it will be similar, but not quite the same. And it's inspired originally by Karen Titus. I think that's Stamping on the Back Porch. And she has some amazing ideas. So I'm always intrigued to find something new. So you don't need many pieces. You just need 2 pieces of designer series paper, 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4, some twine, 2 pieces of white card, 2 by 5 1/4, a couple of scraps for the images that we're going to make. And then our base is just half a sheet of card, so 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and we're going to cut it like we did this, where we put it in the trimmer and just cut up to the fold line. But this time we're going to cut it 1 inch from each of the edges to the fold line. So I'm not going to fold it in half yet because I like it flat in the trimmer so that I can see where this fold line is. And our lines will go from the left 1 inch down, from the right 1 inch down. So I've got my trimmer, and like I showed you last time, I'm going to use the markings that are on the score blade. There's a little line there, and I know that's exactly where the blade is. So if I put this in here at 1 inch and then close the little gate or the little door, I'm just going to go down to the score line. And it would be all the way to 5 1/2. So if you prefer to do it with the ruler there, the measurements, you're going down to 5 1/2. But I'm just going to look through the template here and see where the score line is, and I'm just going to stop there. So I'm going to carry on going just until my line on the blade is at that score line, just there. And then I'm going to do the right hand side, and this time I'm going to put it at the right hand side of where the blade track is. So I'm going to close it, and again I'm just going to go down until I get to that score line. So quick and easy. And if you've gone a millimetre too far or something, it really doesn't matter, because what we're going to do here is glue these pieces down. So I'm going to fold the whole thing over and just burnish them with my bone folder. This is a really nice little card base and a little card design, because you don't need much designer series paper or anything. Now, the top and the bottom that we cut, we're going to glue them down. Whereas on this one, we left them free and had them as the front of the card. This time, we're going to glue them down. We don't need them to help us with the card at all. So I'm going to put glue on the inside here. And these little 1 inch flaps, they only are quite small, and our designer series paper is cut at 3/4 of an inch, so they just fit on top of where we're gluing. And I like this card if you're mass producing, because you don't need a lot of designer series paper, just a little bit. I've used the blue daisies out of the pack. Just let me find out which way around these go, because I have cut it from the same piece. Okay, so it goes that way, and I'm just going to put the top piece here onto the top. Because it's quite a long way to the bottom, I don't think it'd matter if the pieces didn't line up with the pattern. I think you could just use 2 random pieces, but because mine was cut like that, I'm going to leave it like that. Let's move that over slightly. There we go. And can you see it has a really nice border all the way around it? Oh, just checking. Well, we'll see if it matters if the pattern doesn't match up, because that one really should be on the bottom. And I think it's almost too dry. So I'm just going to put it on. Yeah, I'm going to put it this way. And honestly, no, look, I don't think it matters that it doesn't match up. So that's that problem solved, or that question answered. Okay, so we've glued down those flaps. I've put the designer series paper on, and then we need our 2 white pieces. Okay, and these, there's going to be one that goes across the front here, and the other one goes on the inside. And I want to put my stamped images on here, and I want to put one of the stamped images on the inside. So I'm just going to keep them out for a moment, and I'm going to stamp not directly onto the cardstock. I'm actually going to stamp on my pieces of scrap because I want to cut some of them out. And what I've chosen is the little cupcake. So I've got this stamp and this one, and I've also got that little tiny flower, because in the pack of die cuts I found this little cupcake, and I thought I love that with the flower on top. So I've taken that little tiny flower and I'm going to replicate this image. I'm not going to do it in the I think it's like bubble bath, that pink. I'm not going to do it in pink. I'm actually going to do it in Daffodil Delight so that it matches the little yellow pieces. Although this is crushed curry, I want the yellow rather than the pink. So I've got all my stamps ready. I'm going to start with pecan pie, and that's going to be the base of my cupcake. Whoops. And I want to have 3 to cut out. So there's 1, 2, 3. And then I want 1 for inside my card. So let me just brush those little bits off. And I'm going to put it at the right hand side here. So that's all of the little cupcake bases done. Then I'm going to do the frosting part of the cupcake. And again, I'm going to do 3 on here. And I've got Daffodil Delight. But you could go with a stronger colour or something more pastel. Whatever works for the paper you've chosen. Oops, that wasn't very good, was it? That's okay. So I've got a few more that I've already cut out. Or I could actually line it back up and stamp on the top. But here, for the inside piece, I'm going to stamp that one down flat and join them up. Okay. And then with my Misty Moonlight, I'm going to pop little flowers on the top. And let me find, here we go. Here's the little tiny flower. It's going to be a little bit dark, so I'm stamping off just so it gives me a bit lighter colour. Okay, and on here as well. And I'm just going to make another one of those yellow ones. So let me just go back to this. I might be able to just hold it over the top, or I can always turn my card over if this doesn't work. That works fine. So I'm finished with that. Let's get one more of the little flowers. Pop it on here. And then I have my Daffodil Delight Stampin' Right marker. And I'm going to colour in just the little insides of the flowers. Let's do it on this one as well. Okay. And the last little bit of stamping that I want to do is here. I just want to put the birthday sentiment. So I've still got my Misty Moonlight. And I've chosen the Birthday Wishes stamp. Let's see if I can get this on straight. I need space to do my writing as well for my recipient, so I haven't chosen too big a stamp there, because I want just a little bit of space to write. Okay, now while that's drying, let's pop that away. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fussy cut 3 little cakes and 3 little toppers. So it's really quick and easy to fussy cut these. I'm just going to leave a little gap, a little white space all the way around it, like this. Okay, and then same with the toppers. I'm going to leave just a little space. I'm going to cut out the top and the flower. Now, I have actually cut some more already, so you don't have to watch me fussy cut all of these little cupcakes. There we go. So see how quick and easy it is to do those. I've actually got 2 more that I made. There we are. And I want to put this on the front, but I also want to put my twine around here. So I've got some of the blue and white twine that comes in the kit. Let's find a glue dot just to secure it as well. I'm just going to wrap it round twice. So the 3rd wrap will be where I form the bow. Okay. I was going to put a glue dot on, but I don't actually think I need one at the moment. Let's see if we can do it without. Oh yeah. Actually, I'm going to make that three times round. So let's do that again. So, oops, 1, 2, and this will be the 3rd, and there's still enough to tie a bow. We can move it along a little bit once we've tied the bow. You could use a ribbon if you didn't want to use twine on this as well. And I'll trim it just to fit the card once we've got it on the card. I'm not quite sure how big I want this to be. There we go. Right. Now, I should be able to add this onto here. You could put it on dimensionals if you wanted, but I'm going to put the little cupcakes on dimensionals. So if you wanted to have the white layer on dimensionals, you could stamp all the cupcakes down like we stamped this one. I'm just going to pop some glue on the back. Sometimes when you've got twine or ribbon, it just sticks up a little bit where that twine is. So usually I tend to put it on a dimensional just to give it that little bit of space. But because our twine is quite thin on this, I think it'll be okay. Press this down just with my bone folder so that I know it's in place. Okay, and then these little cupcakes, I'm going to just pop them on the front and sort of eyeball where I think they would be sort of equal. And this one will go on the top. So I think I'm just going to leave it like that. So I've got a nice gap at either side of them. And we'll just stick them down individually. I leave the other 2 on there so that I can see, you know, how much space they're going to take up and if I've got them in the middle and everything. This would be nice to do with the flowers as well in the set. The smaller flowers, like these ones, they would look really pretty. Or even the butterflies, that would look nice too. Okay, so there we are. There's our 3 little cupcake bases. Let's find some dimensionals. And the tops I'm going to pop on with a dimensional. Just to give it that little bit extra of a pop. And because we're not putting any sentiments on the front, it's nice to have a bit of a focal area. You can probably hear people are cutting the grass today. It's actually a sunny day for once. No more snow. So I think spring's arrived. Well, I'm hoping spring's arrived. We've waited a while for it. Okay. Now, I am going to pop a glue dot under there just to keep it all in one place. Because I want my bow to be in the middle and to stay in the middle. Open that a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to leave the tails like this, but I'm just going to cut them just a tiny bit. There we are. Just throw that little piece in the bin. Okay, and then the middle, we're going to take this piece and we're just going to glue it down flat. And where the flap opens here, if you wanted, you could put another piece of designer series paper, or even a coordinating piece, or an embossed card, whatever you've got. And there we are, that's it. Just a quick and easy little flap fold card where the flap is in the middle, not at the bottom like we sometimes have. If you wanted to add any sequins or like the little butterflies from the sequin pack, that would look really nice. Maybe a little sequin in the middle of the flower there would look pretty, one of the little gold ones. But I hope you like that, and I like that it doesn't use much paper. It's quick and easy to make for batch making cards, and for Christmas I've made this and just had like 3 little Christmas trees on the front, and that looked really cute. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week for episodes 10, 11 and 12. Take care everybody and have a wonderful weekend. Bye bye.